in fact, what we've seen over the last year is that India has slipped from a second place in terms of growth among the emerging market economies of Asia to fourth place. It's now fourth behind China, the Philippines, and Indonesia. So it hasn't done as well. And the reason it hasn't done as well is that a lot of the slowdown in growth has come from the tightening of monetary policy by the central bank to try and tame inflation, which remains on a wholesale price index basis over 7% still. But consumer prices are well into double figures, and some of the aspects of consumer prices are going haywire. One of the most important factors, I think, is that this is a government which has done nothing, almost nothing in the 2 years that it's been in power to actually prop up growth with any kind of growth stimulative measures or policies. This is a coalition government which includes many regional allies who are not in favor of any liberalization steps, any kind of reform steps, any steps which might kind of lose them votes, any steps, for instance, that would reduce subsidies for the poor, subsidies on diesel, subsidies on other fuels, and subsidies on food and fertilizer. And the reason for that is that they're unable to take these kinds of actions because every time they do, one of the coalition allies says, no, this won't be done, and if you don't do it the way we want to do it, we're going to pull out of this government. The corruption issue has become a very large issue for India in the sense that there's now a spotlight on it. It's no worse today than it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. I think, in terms of the perception of India and corruption, it's much worse. Because there's been such a media spotlight on it, because there's been court cases, because a minister has gone to jail, and because the sums that have been kind of involved in some of the corruption cases have been so huge. To be honest with you, I think a lot of people find, in the same way as the government has found that corruption has kind of like slowed the kind of wheels of government down, it's actually slowed the wheels of business down to a great extent. I was talking to a guy who runs a business in Delhi and has done for the last 15, 20 years. And he tells me that because now he has to do everything very carefully, watching for anything that might look like corruption, he's finding it very hard to do business. And he said to me that, it was much better in the corrupt days. I could get things done.